Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Sue from Morter Institute. It is a delight to be here. I'm very casual today because I'm at the beach. And for the short answer, we have a Masterclass recording that we'll be showing soon. And so right after this. And so if you want to join us for the Masterclass, just click on that button beneath the view box that you're seeing now, and you can plug into the Masterclass and join us for that deep, rich conversation where people write in all kinds of questions, and we gather questions from the audience and we tie it all together in an amazing explanation about how all of life fits together. So it's actually a demonstration of a quantum reality, and that, of course, is what we're interested in you becoming a working master at. We want you to walk and talk awake in a quantum reality as the creator that you truly are. So we're moving forward with the idea of everyone is capable of the quantum flip. Everyone is capable of transforming their lives from a victimized reactorship into an empowered creatorship, because that's what we're made of. We are made of creative energy itself, and we're here to learn how to express and reveal that fully. And so we'll be discussing those kinds of things in every masterclass, and I hope that if you're not a gold member and joining us for those classes, that at some point you decide to take the plunge and just do that, because it is truly life-changing. I meet people all the time when I'm traveling around that have been studying and following this work for years. They come up to me and just hug me like we know each other, and I'm so thrilled to meet them. But they're like, I've known you for 6 years, I've been watching the Masterclass, and I finally get to meet you live, and it's so inspiring to me to think that we're reaching people all over the world, and that at some point we will be either vibrating together in the same room, resonating in the same conversations together, or we'll know that around the globe we are locking arms with other people in this same conscious conversation. Because that's how we establish a different reality. That's how we help humanity, is when we learn to anchor and ground ourselves and integrate. Because an integrated individual has an impact on thousands of people that they never even meet. Tens of thousands of people that they never even meet, because the energy field that they are emanating and resonating as has an impact on all of humanity. It might sound a little esoteric and out there, but quantum science is certainly showing us that that is exactly what is true. So we learn things like the butterfly effect, and the effect that an electron spinning in one corner of the universe has an impact on the same at the other corner of reality as it is measurable. We recognize things like we emit and transmit light every time we think a thought, that we are beings of energy and beings of light, and all kinds of fabulous things along these lines, as well as the study of epigenetics and how it interplays with the bioenergy field and how we create our reality when we dive into the answers that are found in the Masterclass and, of course, in the coursework of the Energy Code. So if you've not been able to plug into that, consider doing that at some point in your life, because it is truly, truly life-changing for all of us. So I want to plug in this moment to the short answer. So the short answer today is going to be about collaboration. That there is nothing in the universe that operates as a silo. There is nothing separate. Everything is connected. Everything is interacting and interfacing with everything else, including you. That you are never an isolated entity trying to make it work on your own, even though the mind will lock you into an encapsulated reality, making you think that you're all alone and that you just have to make do or figure it out on your own, or just go survive and push yourself in this direction or in that direction to get by or to show them or to be strong or what have you. It's a waste of our life experience to breathe one more breath that way ever again. What we have to recognize is that we are in constant collaboration. So I'm on an island that is off the coast of Long Island, and there are no cars where I am. It's just walking little boardwalks from place to place, and I'm about 100 steps to the beach, and 100 steps in the other direction I get into the marina where the harbor is, and the boats come in, and there's a little grocery store, and it's just a quaint, fabulous little secret place, okay? That's all I'm telling you, okay? But it's a fabulous little place. So that's all I'm telling you, because I don't want everybody to be here at the same moment, okay? So what I know is this, that I walked past the harbor this morning, and I saw I saw these boats, just pulled into the little slips into the marinas, and they're all tied up with the perfect little knots and the sailor's knots. And of course, I'm a sailor, and so I love the idea of sailing. And it made me think about the importance of collaboration. The reason that I love sailing is that you can't just jump in the boat, turn on the engine, throw it into gear, and go do your thing, and go against the wind or cut across this or to do that. You can't do that with a sailboat. With a sailboat, what you're doing is you're embodying presence. You're here in a place of connectivity. You're on the water, you're in a boat, and you got a boat with a big stick on it with a sheet that's going to catch some wind. And so in a sailboat, you have to be mindful of what's going on around you, and you have to have an intention about where you want to go. And you can recognize that while I'm here and I want to go there, I may not be able to just cut straight to the chase. I may not be able to just go straight into my target. I may have to sail at an angle to the wind and then change the sail and sail at another angle to the wind, because I can't sail straight into the wind. I can tack back and forth and make my way directly upstream or against all odds or into the wind, etc. But I have to be collaborative in order to do it. I have to be ingenious. I have to think creatively and figure out what I can draw from my surroundings to help me reach my goal. And so this is such a beautiful analogy, of course, to life, but it is a beautiful analogy to your inner realm as well. So often we try to meditate, we try to get into the body by forcing it, by making it happen, or we'll come popping up out of meditation or an attempt to meditate and say things like, I just can't meditate. I try and my mind starts going and I just can't seem to make it work. And there is an answer for you, and it is for you to collaborate with the fact that your mind is going 90 miles an hour and you can't meditate. Or you're living up here in your body so much that you can't take a deep belly breath and feel yourself in your body, that you can't feel relaxed, you don't feel contented, and therefore you can't find joy, and you are far from being able to love when you're in those circumstances. And so I want you to learn to recognize that if your mind is going 90 miles an hour, it's trying to find some answer. And you could find the answer if you could train the mind to come into the body, which is what we do, of course, in the Energy Codes coursework. We train the mind to find the real you. We train the mind to find you. Now, that's an interesting thing if you just contemplate that. We are training the mind to find you. I'm training my mind to find me. If I'm training my mind to find me, it means I'm not my mind, but I have one. And this is so important when it comes to even learning the basics about working with bioenergetics and working with the energy codes, or working with consciousness or mindfulness in any kind of way that's going to be sustainable and life-changing and healing for you. You are not your mind. You have a mind as a tool. And so the mind is like the sail, and how we turn it and what we focus it on, what we tether it to, is going to determine how much wind or vital force it catches, how much it's really contributing to the bigger picture of taking us where we want to go. When you sit and try to meditate and you can't because your mind is too busy, the reason is because you're living in the mind and it's untethered. When you anchor in the body with Mula Bandha by squeezing the muscles at the base of the pelvic bowl, and I give these little tidbits of tools to use, and please keep in mind these are not the tools of the energy codes per se, that when people watch the short answer and I give you these kinds of ideas, it's enough to keep you plugged in to your body and to feel some sense of self that will create a shift for you. But I don't have time in these short answers or even in the Masterclass to give you the full experience of what it is that I want you to grasp in this lifetime. So what I'm teaching you is there is an opportunity for you to use the mind even though it is so busy, and allow yourselves to recognize that if I can't meditate, it is because I haven't tethered my mind to my core. I'm not allowing myself to breathe in the belly, squeeze Mula Bandha, squeeze the heart, and constrict my throat enough that I can feel a vibration coming through my throat when I breathe. Just as a starter, when I come into that orientation, it begins to slow the mind down because it has now found something that it was looking for. It's looking for a sense of self. And if we don't use the body, then we're not using the sail on the sailboat connected to the boat. It's like we have a sail and we have a boat and they're not connected. They're not attached to each other. They're not tethered. So what we have to do is learn to use the mind and the body together in a fashion that allows us to collaborate. When they collaborate, we find ourselves in the greater collaboration on earth. We find ourselves in the greatest collaboration of life. And that puts us in the neighborhood of behaving, perceiving, and experiencing life as freely as every other aspect of life on earth experiences it. You know, there are research projects that are showing us that a philodendron, a little plant, a philodendron, when connected to a lie detector piece of equipment, can recognize when a hostile person comes in the room versus when a joyful person comes in the room. That the plants are constantly responding in this vibratory type frequency, that the communication system is constantly here. And what we want to recognize and utilize, more importantly than just recognize, is that we are that as well. There's a constant sense of collaboration and support that is bombarding your system all the time. And if you will learn to set the sail, set the mind on the body, and make sure that it is tethered to the boat and that it is anchored in, then what will begin to happen is you will build sensory circuits for your central nervous system to be able to perceive a greater sense of self than it could perceive just a moment prior. And the very next thing that will come out of you is loving, is creative, it's kind, it's present, it's available, and it's good. We are made of this goodness, and we simply need to access the collaboration that all of creation is attempting to serve us on a silver platter. So when I'm walking in the harbor tomorrow, I'm going to think of you, and I'm going to think of this conversation. I'm going to hope that it's making a difference in your life, that you recognize that your mind and your body and your breath are attempting to collaborate in the same way that all of the fabulous mechanisms that mankind has created over the centuries have been able to be sustainable because they were valuable tools. This is the most valuable tool that has ever been taught to humankind. It is integration for embodiment, enlightenment and embodiment, the greatest conversation on the planet since the beginning of recorded history, and is certainly the tool that sets us free, allows us to access the self-healer, allows us to access the creativity that we all are seeking. So blessings to you all. I hope that you'll join us with a masterclass that was recorded with a live audience that's a pretty feisty audience that has an awesome connection to this conversation, as there's some of the students of the energy codes and they're asking some pretty awesome questions. So I look forward to sharing that with you, and I'll see you again next time. Blessings to you all.